Welcome to Shore Perspectives, a community feature of WESR Radio, highlighting the spirit of the shore from those who call it home.
Burr Wilcox. I live in Belle Haven, and they call me the Sauce Man. I've been making sauces for over 22 years, and everybody said you ought to make it and sell it, and I never really wanted to. Then I retired from the theatrical business, and I started making sauce. Well, when I made the oyster and clam sauce, a friend of mine sent me some lobsters from Maine, and Spencer Travis brought some oysters, and we were cracking them, and I just made the sauce, and I said, let's put some on some oysters, and there's the name. I have a man-up sauce that is pretty spicy, but it's usable, and then I have a pepper and vinegar sauce, and then I have a sissy sauce I only make during Christmas, because people say, oh, I need one a lot smaller than that. So I said, well, I have sissy sauce. And I have a barbecue sauce called Burr's Barbecue. That was my granddad's recipe. I modified it a little bit. He died, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. He taught me how to make it. And I guess he would like it if he was alive.
So is cooking something that you've always had as an interest?
Oh, yes, I cook. My grandmother was a chef. And she cooked. She taught me to cook. I've been cooking, so, I eat every day. Well, that's everybody said, make me some sauce. I'm having a party, and that's kind of how. And the theatrical, my friends, so they would say, hey, we're having a big party. Can you make me some barbecue sauce, or can you make me some rub? And so then once I retired, I just thought I need a little more money. Social Security and retirement's nothing.
So was it something that was a dream of yours?
No, it just really just manifested itself. When I moved here to the shore about 5 years ago, and people tried my sauce and said, hey, you ought to make that, and here I am. They just evolved over the years, and I think they've really fine-tuned themselves finally. That, something was never really right, or it didn't work on that particular food, and then I'd change a little bit, and then I finally started writing them down. And once I started writing them down, they got a lot better.
I hate to write a recipe down. It's like, it was a dash of this and a pinch of that. And
well, that's how I normally cook.
Mm-hmm.
And but my grandmother, I'd help her make, like, say, a cake or cookies, and I'd be measuring, some baking soda or something, and I'd just heap it up or not fill, and she'd go, knock it level, because I need to know how much it is. So I learned right, it was one of my first jobs to dip a quarter teaspoon measuring spoon, and she'd make me level it off level, and if it had gaps in it, I'd re-dip it, and so I've learned over the years that that's really important, especially if you bake or cook.
Sounds like your grandparents were very influential. Tell me a little bit about your growing up with them.
Oh, well, my granddad was Nixon's agriculture consultant. Went to China with him back when Nixon went to China, opened up China trade, and we had horses and cows, lived on a farm. And my grandmother had chickens. She could grab 2 chickens at once. Self-sustain yourself. I try to eat whole foods, mostly plants. I do love a good steak or, some barbecue or gumbo, shrimp. But you need to just eat real food. That's the most important thing.
Did you realize when you were younger that your grandparents were instilling so many important things in you?
No, I always thought we were real poor because we had our riding corral just had railroad ties stuck in the ground, standing up, and little rough cut boards around there, and everybody around us had pipe and cable and new cars and pickups and big horse trailers and everything. I always thought we were real poor, but come to find out, we were more functioning than they were. I made a little note for my kids, you can't ride on the magic bus unless you know how to be happy.
What's the secret of being happy?
Well, not always trying to get something you don't want to need, and just, like if somebody has a brand new car so they can pull up next to somebody at a traffic light and look how good I look, and then they drive away and that person never sees them again. So who did they really impress? And what did they have to sacrifice to be able to do that? Well, once you learn that it's not impressive to do that, then you're probably a lot happier. Just because you're wanting to go somewhere in a straight line doesn't mean you can't take a detour. That's all I gotta say. My granddad used to say, life's simply awful or awfully simple. Depends on which road you take.
For Shore Perspectives and WESR Radio, I'm Kelley Gaskell.